My people, welcome back to another wellness bodybuilding vlog. We are back again today where I'm going to be teaching you guys a little bit about my meals, some meal hacks, how to save waste. It's going to be all about food for this episode. So I'm going to take you guys through a full day of eating with me, and we are about to start out with breakfast. So the first things first though is I don't usually wear very cute outfits, but guys, I am proud of myself of what I thought here. So let's be honest, I don't get any more compliments than I do on these mom jeans. Okay, so this is what the TikTok kids say, right? It's a fit check. Okay, so what do we think of this fit? We got a Sheen bra with the padding starting to bend completely, and I can't get it to unbend. So we're gonna let the hair trail over like this as if nobody can even tell. But the mom jeans are from Garage, okay? I'll see if I can find them and link them for you guys because like I said, I do not get any more compliments than I do on these jeans. So even though it's winter outside, we're trying to keep summer along. So now that we did our fit check, it's time to get started on this day of meals. So to eat my breakfast, you only need 3 simple ingredients. So all we're doing for breakfast is some egg whites with 1 egg, as well as some quick oats, okay? So now I'm gonna teach you guys the coolest egg hack that I feel like I know in my adulthood. So generally, we always crack on the side or crack on the edge of a bowl, right? And it's 50-50 if you're gonna break that yolk or not. And I don't know about you, but I don't like a broken yolk. So what you do to make sure that you do not break your yolk every time, and I'm not kidding guys, is you go like this, boom, drop the egg, and then you just let it. Oh, it did break it. I got too excited, guys. That's supposed to not break your egg, okay? So maybe I dropped from too high because I was really excited for the emphasis of this for you. But it shouldn't actually break the egg. So I'm dying that it actually broke the egg here. So I guess my egg hack is also a 50-50 chance I'm not wasting an egg on this. So this is the thing is don't eat the egg yolk. I've made these breakfasts literally every day for months, the same damn thing. And I still cannot get my yolk to stay 70% of the time. So sweet egg hack, Sarah. I think if you drop it a little bit closer to the pan and not try to make a whole performance out of it, the egg shouldn't break. But now that we had a good laugh this morning, we're gonna put 150 grams of egg whites in there. So the nice part about egg whites that I don't think a lot of people realize is that that's what holds all the protein. Well, starting the fire. Okay. So the thing is that the egg white is what holds all the protein in the egg. The yolk is what holds the majority of the fat, okay? So there is no fat in egg whites. It's amazing because if you just need to get some extra protein in, you can use it for baking. You can add it to oats without cooking it. I'm not there yet. We always cook our eggs in this household. But there's lots of different things that you can do with it. So you can get creative if you do need that extra protein. Now, when it comes to the oats, the nice part is that I get my eggs going first so that pretty much by the time the oats are done, then eggs are already almost ready. So I myself personally find that you have to be really careful with seasoning eggs because egg burps are a real thing. And if you are gonna eat eggs before you go to the gym and you're doing all this bending and stuff, just gonna pre-warn you, people might not wanna be around you. You might not wanna be around you. I recommend eating your eggs at a different time than your pre-workout meal, unless you find that it does digest well. You can thank me later for this one, okay? So all we're gonna do is put 1 serving of oats in the bowl, warm it up with some water. Like I said, all I'm using is salt right now. I used to use the herb and garlic Mrs. Dash and stuff, but like I said. So I'll show you guys what this looks like when it's done, but our big takeaways from this is making sure that you use egg whites if you need extra protein. So when you're having a heavy American breakfast and you're doing all the bacon and all the hash browns and stuff like that, that would be a great time to potentially not have eggs and have egg whites instead, so that you're not adding that additional fat in there, but you're still able to get some good protein from the egg source. The second thing that we learned is that you're supposed to be able to drop an egg into the pan and it won't break, but if you drop from too high and get a little excessive, it's not gonna work for you. All right, breakfast is ready to rock. It's not like it looks fancy or anything, especially with our smushed yolk. I was literally laughing the whole time as I was finishing up there, and I hope that you guys had just as good of a laugh with me on that one. One thing that I did forget to mention is that because I'm not using any oil with my eggs, make sure that you're using a non-stick pan or else your life is gonna be crazy. So we already got everything cleaned up because, you know, Sari likes to clean up as she goes. So now with my breakfast, before I have it, I'm gonna take my vitamins. So on the daily, I'm always taking a C and a D, as well as turmeric. So those are what I would take to get started. And then as soon as I'm done my meal, then I take my zinc, just because they generally don't recommend taking zinc with other vitamins. It can kind of upset your stomach, I guess you'd say. So I like to do that after just to make sure. But otherwise, like, I'm not on creatine or anything right now. There's really not much else that I'm taking for a supplement. I have added pre-workout back into my life, especially over this past week. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, with winter coming and my period, this last week has been death for energy, and I may or may not have been drinking pre-workout to get me up and going in the morning. So I'm always gonna be honest with you guys, not that I'm super proud of that one, but when your energy is really low, sometimes you just need the extra juice, am I right? So this is gonna be my first meal of the day, and then we're gonna start prepping for the rest of the day because we have to do meal prep today. So I'm gonna go get a couple hours of work done and we'll get into that meal prep. Okay, so we are sitting at about 2:15 p.m. We have been working our buns off and it is time for a snack. Now, I'm still gonna prep those meals a little bit later, but everything's taken a little bit longer than I anticipated, and we do need to make sure that we get something else into me here. So it's coffee break, and we actually got some specialty mod pods. So this one that we're gonna have today is the cinnamon churro. So I'm super excited for this as my pick-me-up. And for this snack, we are doing something a little bit cool. Well, cool for me compared to what I'm usually eating, but we do have an RX bar. So they're not super high in protein. You're looking at about 12 grams. But the thing is that I'm happy with the ingredients. They digest well with me, especially if you're somebody that you find that majority of the protein bars out there aren't digesting well with you. Try something more natural like an RX bar. So this one that we have here is the banana chocolate walnut. I absolutely love it. They do get stuck in your teeth a little bit, but hey, you know, give and take. Now, this is actually a banana and fig brownie, but I would typically be eating like a little bit of strawberries, maybe some blueberries, things like that. All I have is frozen blueberries right now, and I'd rather eat them at the end of the day if I'm gonna eat them, simply because of the fact that they dye your teeth blue. So I would typically have fruit like I'm saying, but instead I'm gonna have this banana and fig brownie. It's literally all the ingredients in it. So I love these guys so much. They're what I feel like a fruit to go should have tasted like as a kid. They do not get stuck in your teeth as bad either. So I'm gonna go munch on this snack, get that coffee into me, and keep trucking along with this day, and then we'll be getting into further meals. We're back in the kitchen. It is about 5 p.m. now, and I have been so busy finishing a big project that I have been procrastinating since like 2018. It's almost the end of 2022 if you aren't aware of this video. So that's a long time to be procrastinating something. So even if you feel like I get a lot done in my life, there's still shit that I put off to the side too. And I think that it's hard being a business owner because you try to take on so many hats at once when you're starting your business. So I can't wait to share with you guys what I accomplished finally. It's a really big move for Team Authentically Fit. So we are gonna start with my husband's dinner first, but I have to have another laugh with you guys because when he's not around, I burn candles because he's very scent sensitive. So we have all these leftover candles from our wedding, and thank goodness that they are like more of like an organic candle, like natural ingredients, because I had it on the edge of the counter, and I had thought earlier today about my podcast or my tripod stand falling over and hitting the candle. And it's like, if you ever think of things like that and think about moving something, just do it. So I should have moved the candle out of the way, but I didn't. And when I came back for this recording, after I was so proud of what I accomplished with work, then I knocked the candle and spilled hot wax everywhere. Now, this is just life, guys, and you gotta really assess how bad was it. The dogs never got covered in wax, I never got covered in wax, and neither did my phones. And we didn't even break the tripod stand. So I feel like it's a total win. So you just gotta look at life that way sometimes, because I feel like it's just gonna deal you what it's gonna deal you, even in those amazing moments where you just want 2 seconds to celebrate, right? So I honestly just laughed. So for Hubs, we ended up getting some tomatoes from my sister-in-law, so his sister, and we ended up getting a lot. So I was like, I need to do something with these. So if you follow along on my Instagram, which you need to go and follow my Instagram right now. If you do not, pause this video. It's always gonna be waiting here for you to come back to, and go and follow team.authenticallyfit and my main page at authentically.fit. Now, the other thing that I want to just throw in here right now, because I've been forgetting in my videos, is to make sure that you hit that subscribe and notification button, okay? This is really important to make sure that this channel can keep growing, can keep putting out great content to you guys, because like I said, I just want us to continue to grow together. Life is super hard, and my mission is to try to make it as easy as possible for us without us making it harder on ourselves. So we got some probably like lean or extra lean ground beef. We didn't mark the bag, but I'm not eating it. This is just for my husband. So we are gonna use some ground beef, but what I wanted to do first actually was measure the oil. So I do measure oil. This is one thing, even when I'm cooking for him, that I think is really important. Oil is something that is very concentrated in fat. It's not something that you need to stress about unless you're free pouring and can't figure out why you can't lose any weight or why you don't feel like you're in a calorie deficit. Weighing things like that are so, so important, especially things like dressings and pretty much any type of condiment I recommend, unless it's mustard. So tonight we're just gonna use some extra virgin olive oil. With the meat being completely frozen right now, you're probably like, oh, this is gonna cook really well. But this is where I'm gonna show you the tricks, and I promise it's gonna work better than my egg hack, which like we said, we know where we went wrong, okay? So what I'm gonna do is about 12 to 15 grams. We just hit 16. And so just a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding some water in here as well. So get this bad boy in the pack. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to grab a lid as well. Believe this is the one. Perfect. Then we are going to grab a little cup because we're going to use this for cooking tonight, and add in the water. Okay, so if you were wondering how much water I just poured in there, it was like that much, and I don't even think I'm going to use the full amount just yet. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna see how that does for it, and we're gonna turn it on low. So like for me, it's in between like 2 and low that I like to have the setting on. And we're gonna let that baby warm up a little bit. So he's still not home yet, and the name of the game to get the tender meat, guys, is to go low and slow. So we're gonna cook this low and slow, and throw together that pasta sauce that I made myself. I was so proud of myself. I don't even think I finished telling you guys that in this. To be honest, I don't even know how I'm recording this video. My brain is so fried, but we gotta keep getting things done, right? So no excuses. Sometimes you just gotta say screw your emotions and get your shit done, okay? So that's what we're doing. So what I'm gonna do is go finish a couple of other things, come back, and we're gonna start making my meal, see how that beef is, and I'm gonna continue to show you how I'm cooking this shit. Mom gave me this basket. She got it from the dollar store, and I 10 out of 10 recommend it for washing your produce or washing your dishes, whatever, but it is a lifesaver for produce. Big yam family around here, you know? Honestly, he begs anytime as soon as he hears this wooden cutting board come out. And honestly, guys, I highly recommend, especially for like produce. I don't do any of my meat on the wooden cutting board, but when it comes to produce, definitely recommend it. I honestly don't even do much to maintain it, but right now what we're doing is we're preparing our sweet potatoes, and we had a massive debate on my Instagram about yams or sweet potatoes. Are they different? Are they the same? What is the difference between them, and how do you decipher them? Because the color pattern, people seem to be confusing between each, and if I can be honest with you guys, the store mislabels them. The like fast food joints sell them under the wrong term. So I just feel like overall nobody knows the difference, and we're just gonna live with that. So what I like to do when it comes to my meals is how many I'm gonna prepare is gonna depend on how much I currently have for food. So what I'm gonna do is cut up these sweet potatoes, and then I will be basing my meals off of that and freezing any extra chicken that I don't need. So what I do is I cut it up per portion and put it in the air fryer like that. It's just easier for me to do that personally. Even if I'm preparing 5 days, it's just over an hour, so like I can't really complain for time. So overall, this is how we're preparing our sweet potatoes. We're enjoying one of the sparkling ice caffeinated beverages. If you guys haven't found these, this is like a Halloween advertisement. If you haven't found these, make sure that you go and check them out at your local Sobeys, Safeway. I think that that's where we got them. But definitely, I haven't had a bad flavor yet, and 0 cal. But we got to remember, guys, 0 cal is not always 0 cal. So it's probably like 5 to 10 cals. But no matter what, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to continue on chopping this up. I haven't even checked on this meat, like broken it up yet. It is just bubbling nicely in there, nice and slow. So it should be really delicious. So I'm just gonna let it cook a little bit more before I start adding any spices, because you want it to be at least a little bit cooked through before you start adding in that extra flavor. So we will continue from here, but that's just what I wanted to show you. Okay, so we are on to future lessons here, and I want to talk about nuts next. So nuts are super nutrient dense, which therefore means that they are calorie dense, aka they have a lot of calories for a small amount of portion. So I know that a lot of people don't weigh their nuts, but you should be weighing your nuts, okay? And I want to show you guys what 1.5 portion sizes of almonds looks like. Now this is not very much, okay? This is not to scare you away from nuts. This is to be reasonable and make sure that you are weighing them. Anytime that you have a fat source, which nuts are a higher fat source than any other macronutrient in them, is making sure that you are weighing them. It's super simple. Then you can enjoy them within your day, knowing that you've had a portion that is going to not completely set off your day. Because again, we're not saying this to, like, I'm not saying this to scare you, but some nuts are more calorie dense than others. Therefore, it's not gonna be hard to push over 1,000 calories with having a couple handfuls of nuts. So just something to think of if you are somebody who likes to snack on nuts a lot. Another thing that I can recommend is getting raw nuts or roasted with sea salt, trying to stay away from the regular table salt that they're using. So I find that that makes a huge difference on not feeling super lethargic and thirsty and like you're so bloated after. So just go with raw, and you can even just add your own Himalayan salt after, and you're set, okay? And you're in control. So the next thing that I want to talk about aside from our nuts is people are always looking for a snack when it comes to overall like protein filled snacks, right? And I think that a lot of people forget about beef jerky. Now, when you're picking out a beef jerky, you want to go for something that doesn't have a million ingredients. It doesn't have 5 different types of sugars. It is lower in sugar. There is even like lower fat options that you can get, but honestly, this stuff from Costco, huge fan, 10 out of 10. So the steak bites are leaner, so it's like 97% fat free. So that's something that you can easily take with you to travel or just enjoy as like an afternoon snack, right? So the next thing that I want to chat about is what we're going to be adding alongside of my husband's meal. So him and I are going to have some peppers cut up, and I really want this tip to remind you guys to be mindful about your produce, okay? You don't need to go to the store and pick out every type of produce because you're going to get healthy and it's just going to be awesome. Pick out 1 to 2 vegetables and fruits that you're going to focus on eating for the week. And honestly, if you are having a moment where you're thinking about getting delivery and you look in your fridge and your produce is just about to go, do not get delivery. Make yourself a stir fry with that produce. Not only are you going to feel a lot better after, your money is going to be used a lot more resourcefully. Plus, you are becoming more resourceful by spending more time in the kitchen. And I think that that's something that my generation, and definitely younger, we didn't get enough time in the kitchen with our parents because of this whole convenience thing. And I really encourage us to go back to our roots, make sure that we're not wasting, make sure that we're fueling ourselves with foods that feel good. Because at the end of the day, we know that those convenient foods are always there, and I don't think that we play enough with fresh foods in the kitchen. So a fun way to play around with fresh foods is by making your own sauce. So I made my own tomato sauce for my husband, so I'm so excited. Of course, my note is made with love. I don't know if you guys can see that with the best before date on it, because my girlfriend said it'll last about a week in the fridge. So her and I are just trying to be a lot more creative in the kitchen, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna take you along on the ride of what goes on in my kitchen. But tonight we're gonna be using this sauce with the beef. We're gonna have the veggies that are just about to go on the side to make sure that they're not wasted. And obviously I'm gonna do some pasta or something to go along with that for him. So the last and final tip that I wanna go over with you guys is when it comes to chicken. A lot of people don't realize that cutting your chicken while it's still slightly frozen is way easier than cutting it when it's completely thawed. So I want you guys to try it out next time. Take your chicken when it's still a little bit frozen and do your chopping. That's when you can get those nice, gorgeous cubes, because over these years of spending a little bit more time in the kitchen, we are starting to make our plates look a little bit prettier after learning these hacks. So definitely try it out, guys. I just need to fry up my chicken. I do it without any oil. I will add a little bit of water sometimes if I feel like I need it. Otherwise, I just season it, and again, I cook it in the portion size for the day that I need it, just because that's what's easiest for me. So just because this is what works best for me doesn't mean that that's what's gonna work best for you. So we ended up with 3.5 days of food. So all we're gonna do is go to the grocery store within these next 3 days and keep adding from here. So this is how I like to do my stuff personally, and I hope that you guys have learned a lot from this video. But I hope that if you did learn something, that you're willing to share this video with somebody else that you think would find it really resourceful. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, and I will be back next Thursday, or at least next weekend, with a new video for you guys, and we're gonna be consistent on our Thursday schedule from there on out. So I've been working really hard to align the most perfect schedule for everything to consistently flow in my life, and I can't wait to bring you guys along with it. So this video is gonna conclude with what the meals look like on the end, and I will catch you guys on the next video next freaking weekend.
You melt the ice behind my stone cold eyes. I turn to ashes, but only just sometimes. Inhale your smoke, but you still act surprised. It's not my fault when we